What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, MeetHvncho, and it's your auntie's favorite YouTuber. And we back at y'all again with another reaction video. This reaction video is coming from my boy, Wrestling Gifts. I've been watching you for a hot minute. I ain't never react to your content, but I have been watching you for a minute with your gameplays and all that, such and such and all that stuff. This video right here is about WrestleMania 25. Should have been a classic. Now, WrestleMania 25, that was with, I think that was in Dallas. Maybe. I remember I was a little kid. I was at my grandma's house, and I was like anxious, bro, because I could not watch the event. I think she had DirecTV, and I knew she wasn't gonna pay for that thing, bro. I think I was in trouble at the time, but I was so sick, bro. But I remember everything that happened on the show. That I know Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker happened on that show. I remember Edge, Big Show, and John Cena happened on that show. The real big reason I was excited for the show was Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy. I'm a big Jeff Hardy fan. I think Rey Mysterio and JBL happened at that show. I remember the Randy Orton and Triple H feud happened when Triple H ran into this man's house and threw this man out the glass. Bro, that jump was crazy. I remember those times, bro. That was good times in wrestling. Great storylines was happening and shit like that. But yeah, we have this video right here today for you. And we gonna hear how it should have been a classic. I feel like it was already a classic. Just off some of the things, just off the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker match, because they say that's the greatest match in WrestleMania history. So you know what I'm saying? So we gonna see. We gonna see how it could have been better. Let's go.
When No Way Out 2009 went off the air, what was already one of the hottest Road to WrestleManias in years got that much hotter. On what was supposed to be just a random B show, everything was flipped turned upside down. From new champions being crowned, to a heist being pulled, to a serial killer adding a new victim to his resume, to even Superman getting embarrassed after a classic Rumble, after a classic No Way Out. The stars were aligning for WrestleMania 25 to be nothing short of a classic.
See, that's the unpredictability that was happening back in the day, bro, that we don't get nowadays. Edge lost his WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber, and then he came back out the next moment, like the next Elimination Chamber match that was happening with the World Heavyweight Championship, took out Kofi Kingston like y'all saw, came in there and won that thing. That's the unpredictability that was happening, bro. That's the shit that I miss, bro. That's the type of stuff I miss. Not the Vince McMahon sexual, all that bullshit. No, nobody wants to see that bullshit no more. Bro, but the unpredictability, stuff like that happening, bro. Like mid-card people actually rising to the top, bro. Like Edge, bro. Who seen Edge as a main event guy until he won that Money in the Bank, you know what I'm saying? And he cashed in on John Cena. I doubt Triple H would ever give Rey Mysterio an opportunity to become the World Heavyweight Champion if he was booking back then, bro. He didn't even believe in Jeff Hardy. If y'all remember all the stuff coming out, what's the dude from Scooby-Doo? He was a writer on WWE, Freddie Prinze or something like that. Triple H was politicking not to give Jeff Hardy the WWE Championship. Imagine in 2008 Jeff Hardy not winning the WWE Championship at all. That's crushing our freaking dreams. All the Jeff Hardy fans out there, we would have been crushed. Him not ever winning the WWE Championship when he did. I wish it would have been a WrestleMania moment. But Armageddon, imagine him not winning that thing. And that's because Triple H was trying to prevent him from winning it. Politicking him not to win it because of drug stuff. I understand. The drugs, you can't trust them. But bro, you have to give people the opportunity. That's what we talking about nowadays. Opportunity, bro. That's all I want to see. Opportunity. Given to people, new people. That's all I want. But let me not, I don't want to rant on in the video. Let's get into the video, man.
went by, the card was shaping up to be special. Cena and Edge were gonna go at it, the Hardy Boys were gonna kill each other in an Extreme Rules match, The Undertaker's 16-0 streak was up against Mr. WrestleMania. That itself made this show must-see, but nothing compared to what was gonna go down in the main event. Randy Orton at this point was carrying the company on his back. He was carrying the entire WrestleMania build on his back, and after No Way Out, just when we thought this monster couldn't be more evil, he was about to be featured on America's Most Wanted. Randy by March had already punted Vince, already destroyed Shane, was heading to the main event of WrestleMania, but as a great man once said, it was never enough.
No.
Just when you thought the storyline couldn't get more nuts, Randy Orton does this to Stephanie, resulting in Triple H running out to save her and for the first time ever acknowledging their real-life marriage on television. And just like that, the WrestleMania main event got lit on fire. But what preceded this, let's just say the streets will never forget. See, normally the RKO would have been enough to make this feud hot and justified as the rightful main event of WrestleMania. But why? Why would we stop there? Not this year. Osama bin Orton pulled up to Raw, handcuffed Triple H to the torn buckle, DDT'd Steph in front of him, and then proceeded to kiss a dead Stephanie. Monday Night Raw in March of 2009 when I see it was...
this man's wife. Kiss this man's wife. That's like coming nowadays, that's like the final boss, The Rock, doing some crazy shit to Cody Rhodes last year. Bro, this is how it was for us, bro. Back in the day, young kids, that WrestleMania 40 build. This is how the build was for WrestleMania 25. With this main event match, we thought these dudes about to go crazy.
Triple H being brought to tears because of Randy Orton. This guy right here was reaching generational levels. This iteration of Randy's character was the most evil, most psychotic character we had seen in a long, long time, possibly ever. Just casually in a span of 3 months, he took out the entire McMahon family. Where was Linda's old ass at? He was out here kissing Stephanie in front of Triple H while he cried and screamed. Yo, this guy was fucked. This was, for me, the single most shocking ending to Raw I had ever seen. This was up there with the limo explosion because I remember going to school the next day and every single kid was talking about what the hell went down. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, wrestling is fake, we know that. But that Randy Orton shit, that shit had to be real. And what made it special for me was I became a huge Randy Orton fan at this time. And maybe that was a red flag. Maybe my mom should have took me to a therapist. But you know what? She didn't, and here we are. But I was 10 years old, and after seeing this, Randy became my guy. I wanted to be just like Randy Orton. I wanted to get my own sleeve of tattoos done just like him. I wanted to get a buzz cut just like him. I wanted to be dripping in oil. I wanted to be Randy Orton. It was legendary TV, and it's hard to explain how wild it was to see Triple H cry, and then Triple H gets all mad, and he pulls up to Randy's house, throws him out the window. It was just a beautiful angle. The moment. It was fun for me because I had seen this all come to fruition. I was there for a little bit of the Evolution days. I remember the rated RKO days, and I remember buying No Mercy 07, wanting to see Cena versus Orton, and instead, what did I get? I got Orton beating the hell out of Triple H and leaving with the title. I had seen it all, but now, this was different. Now everything was full circle. Now in 2009, I was older. I was Team Randy Orton. I wanted to see Triple H get punted. I wanted to see him cry. I had no sympathy for the McMahons or Triple H. Saddam Orton was my guy, and he literally evolved into the best character we had seen since probably Stone Cold Steve Austin. Randy Orton was about that life, and he was about to reach that status where he could have been the heel of a generation. And it was all leading to WrestleMania 25, the main event. Randy versus Triple H. Somebody was going to die, and best of all, the villain was gonna win. This was 2009. This was peak villain era. This was months after The Dark Knight had just come out and society fell in love with the Joker. People wanted to see the bad guy win. And Randy Orton, it doesn't get more evil than this. Cena and Edge were probably going to wrestle.
Randy probably should have won that match.
Money in the Bank, Taker versus Shawn, the most hyped up WrestleMania main event in years. The stars were aligning for WrestleMania 25 to be nothing short of a classic. The show begins, and as Pyro lights up Reliant Stadium, I gotta say, from the blue to the lighting to the Pyro to the stage, what a beautiful WrestleMania this was. And what better way to start off Mania but with a Money in the Bank match. Those were the days. It was an awesome Money in the Bank match. These 8 men wanted to prove something on this night. They wanted to prove that they were down and die for the briefcase, and they did exactly that. Yo, some of the spots in this match were just straight up dangerous. We've had some wild Money in the Bank matches before this, but for some reason on this night, everything just felt a little more crazy and more riskier than usual. I really remember thinking that this would be Christian's night, and this was also the night where, as a young fan, Kofi Kingston went crazy, and he instantly made me believe. Kofi showed out. Shelton Benjamin once again showed out.
Benjamin always showing
this
out.
match did confirm, though, that yeah, Shelton was forever sadly going to be a Money in the Bank merchant in the company. This was a great match. The things I would do to get Money in the Bank back at WrestleMania are unforgivable, but sadly, that's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
It was a genuine surprise. Even going back and looking at predictions,
it made WrestleMania feel special,
man. Everyone was predicting anyone but Punk to win. People thought MVP might win, Christian, but no one thought CM Punk would go back to back. But he did. Well deserved. Great match to open the show, and Punk winning back to back. It's a pretty fun moment. So what a way to start off Mania, and to follow this, what do we get, boys and girls? Do we get lucky and get another good match to get the momentum flowing? I mean, this card was pretty stacked. No, we get a travesty. 8 men just went crazy to open up WrestleMania? Well, time to get the most stupid and most pointless segment and match in WrestleMania history to follow it up. I can't think of anything more stupid that's went down at WrestleMania since then than this. I really can't. Kid Rock pulls up, okay, and decides to perform some songs. And at first, it's fine. He does the typical bow with the bang a dang diggity song. And, we can pretend it's 99 again. It's fine. We're having a good time. But the issue is, he keeps going and going and going. My brothers in Christ, my brothers in whatever. Kid Rock performs for 12 minutes. WrestleMania just started 30. Why the fuck are we getting tortured already? He's there performing his Mickey Mouse songs, and the crowd does not care whatsoever. They're just there.
Nobody will ever
care. Where's the Undertaker at? The whole point of this turns out to be a way to have the Divas make their entrance. Yes, for all the Divas to make their entrance for the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. Please, ladies, before you get to the ring, make sure you twerk on Kid Rock or give him a kiss or something, or else you're fired. So that takes up like 12 minutes of our time.
Wow.
And just to make things better, we get the most bullshit quick, get in, get out, 5-minute battle royal you will ever see in your life. I swear to God, these poor girls were...
They did the women so dirty back in the day, bro. So dirty. Just looking back at this is just like, no wonder we didn't enjoy women's wrestling at all. Because what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Look at Santino. Vince McMahon was just, oh my God. This man had Santino in a women's outfit winning women's battle royals. It's like every celebrity was like a pimp, bro. I remember WrestleMania 2024. Snoop Dogg came out in his goddamn dang golf cart that was pimped out. He had the girls trailing behind him. Like, bro, this is just, oh my God.
Here, I can't even talk, eliminating themselves, and it was just so sad. You had women in this match who hadn't appeared in the company
Beth
for
Phoenix,
years.
Michelle McCool, I feel so bad for y'all.
Shoutouts, commentary is sleeping.
Melina.
Molly Holly hadn't been seen since like 04, and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody
Poor Molly
cares.
Holly, poor Tori Wilson, and just to show you how much the company respected their women in 09, a man won. Santina Morella, dressed up as a woman, becomes Santina Morella and wins Miss WrestleMania. Hey, what do I even say? What was the point of this? Why not just have Beth Phoenix win or something? I'm honestly surprised that
exactly. Beth Phoenix.
On Netflix, Vince didn't come out and
Michelle
pat himself
McCool.
on the back and talk about how, we were ahead of the curve when it came to gender.
No, he wasn't.
Things of that nature. Look at our 2009 Miss WrestleMania. Absolutely pathetic. And listen, Santino was hilarious, great performer, but the segment started with a 12-minute Kid Rock concert and ends with Santino Marella winning a women's battle. What are we doing here? Stupidest 20 minutes in WrestleMania. This is up there
that
with
was 20 minutes?
Cole. And yes, this whole thing took 20 minutes.
He's still in the ring dancing.
Hopefully this doesn't affect any other matches tonight, right? Because, that would be a shame. But we get back on track because the next match we get is like the definition of bipolar. So in 2008, the iconic movie The Wrestler came out, and the world went crazy, rightfully so. It was a movie about an old washed-up wrestler who, despite being a huge star in the 80s, ends up being a broken-down man, basically a cripple, who has to wrestle on the indie scene to make ends meet. And, well, the company wanted to capitalize off that and had Jericho in his evil 2008-2009 prime go out there and disrespect the legends of the WWE for being just like the wrestler. So the idea first was for Jericho and Mania first to take on Mickey Rourke.
Very
that
bipolar.
didn't work out for a bunch of reasons. Then it was for Jericho to take on 3 Legends of the Past managed by Ric Flair. And it's like, alright, that's kind of cool. It is WrestleMania 25. Might as well honor some legends. So Jericho thought, hey, let's bring in Lawler. Let's bring in this guy, that guy. But Vince said, no. You have to have legends that wrestled at WrestleMania 1. The issue was like 60% of those guys are dead or can't move anymore. But YOLO, here we were, WrestleMania 25, Jericho versus Superfly Snuka, Roddy Piper, and Ricky Steamboat. And at first, it is just sad. Because like, Jericho just had the best year of his career. What's his reward? He's out here wrestling Superfly Snuka, who probably doesn't even remember his own name at this point, let alone what he did in 1983. Snuka and Piper had no reason being this. I am surprised they made it out alive. But what makes this match so memorable and
the dragon,
awesome,
man.
I mean, no, not awesome, is Ricky Steamboat, a man who hadn't wrestled a match since 1994, goes out there and he goes crazy. When Jericho and Steamboat in the ring together, it's beautiful. It is actually beautiful. 56 years old, hadn't wrestled in 15 years since WCW, and he did his thing. And it was so cool because Jericho growing up, his favorite wrestler, one of his favorite wrestlers, was
not Jimmy Snuka, Steamboat.
Snuka and Roddy basically being decrepit.
Ricky the
Steamboat
Dragon.
and Jericho had 70,000 people going nuts. Steamboat was out here moving like he was 35. Jericho got the win, and somehow the match that started off as the
should have been the match.
Most depressing WrestleMania
that should have been the match
in a long time.
1-on-1
99%
with Ric Flair.
Cardiac arrest take place. Turn into this.
That should have been the match. It should have been Ricky Steamboat versus Chris Jericho with Ric Flair as his manager. That should have been the match right there. Honestly, looking at it right now, bro, Roddy Piper shouldn't have been in that match. Definitely, Jimmy Snuka should not have been in that goddamn match. Like, oh God, he should not have been in that match. Looking back at it now, holy shit. He looked horrible. But definitely, Ricky Dragon and Steamboat versus Chris Jericho, just that alone, give it like 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. That would have been a phenomenal match with Chris Jericho beating a legend. How can I complain about that? That would have been perfect. But holy shit. No disrespect to Roddy Piper, you a legend. Them little knees you was doing, that was cool. But Ricky, not Steamboat, Jimmy Snuka, holy shit, bro. Holy shit. That's some bad shit there, bro.
Super memorable and special, and this was so good that the next month, Steamboat and Jericho had a one-on-one match at Backlash. I don't usually rate matches, but this was easily 3 stars, which, listen, when 2 of the 4 wrestlers in the match almost died, 3 stars is a miracle. Great
2 of them is dead now.
Segment. It was then time for Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy in an Extreme Rules match at WrestleMania, a dream match if you can believe it for people of a certain age.
This should have been Jeff walking into WrestleMania as the WWE champion. I hated this whole angle where Matt Hardy just turned on him. I hated this, bro. I hated this. I hated it. Like, dead ass. I didn't like it. I seen the angle where he was trying to almost got ran off the road. And then his house, they tried to use his house got burned down, and his dog, like legit, his house did get burned down, and he lost his dog. Jeff lost his dog. They tried to use all that, and he tried to get, like I said, he tried to get ran off the road. And then the pyro incident. They said Matt Hardy did all that. I didn't understand. Why would you take the belt off Jeff 1 month into the reign? He went in there Armageddon and he loses at Royal Rumble. I didn't like that, bro. I still to this day, I just don't like that. I feel like Jeff Hardy should have kept the belt all the way to WrestleMania. It did something with it. Maybe him versus Edge at WrestleMania. With him beating Edge. Or Edge beat him. I don't know. With Matt Hardy turning on him at WrestleMania. That would have made more sense. Matt Hardy turned on him at WrestleMania, but the Royal Rumble? 1 month? That was just so disheartening, bro.
Including myself at the time, this one is interesting. This is a match that for a lot of people over the years has been forgettable or whatever, or it fell below expectations, but I can't lie, I always thought this match was pretty good.
It is a good match, but it's just
a lot of time setting up spots. They did, and that really hurts it. Did Matt Hardy winning make me depressed and make me want to throw up? Of course it did. It's Matt Hardy.
Why Jeff ain't win?
Well, this was pretty good. Maybe
he's
it's
a
because
WWE
Hardy
champion.
Boys mark. Maybe it's because 2009 Jeff Hardy. Maybe it's because these idiots were pretty reckless. But they did the best they could with what they had. It was violent. Jeff Hardy did this, and the ending still makes my neck hurt to this day. But man, if Jeff somehow kicked out of this, I don't know how, and got up and won the match, the stadium would have gone nuts. I think this match gets too much hate. People online would have you think this was a stinker. Not at all. The main problem with this match was it was actually cut short because something prior went too long. And if only there was something earlier on this show that was completely unnecessary.
Talking about that battle royal?
I hate you, Kid Rock. We then got a 30-second match for the IC title in which JBL loses and retires.
And retires.
It was 30 seconds. You can't really complain about that.
Yeah, I ain't really complaining about this.
At
He
this
retired.
point, it was a pretty enjoyable WrestleMania, all things considered, and realistically, the fate of the show still laid in the big three matches. If they delivered, this WrestleMania would have been perfectly fine, and it would have been a classic. And well, at least we got the greatest WrestleMania match of all time next. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. What can I even say that hasn't been said before? In my opinion, the single greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Everything about this was absolutely perfect. Perfect from the entrances to being total opposites, one coming from up above and all white, to one coming from below and all black, to the moves, to the teases, to the botches. Yes, the botches, to everything else. Absolutely perfect.
Undertaker dived over that rope.
As a kid, I didn't know what this match was going to be like. Like, I was too young to expect a classic.
You don't
and it was going to be a good
bro.
match, but it wasn't like I was watching this waiting for this to be a classic. Nah, I was just watching and enjoying, and as time went on and on and on,
that's what these modern day fucking wrestlers don't get nowadays, bro. When Undertaker did the fucking dive over the rope, it meant something because he was doing it at fucking WrestleMania, bro. We only seen Undertaker dive over the rope at WrestleMania. Tell me if I'm lying. Y'all know it's true. That's why it meant more. Shawn Michaels wasn't doing springboards from the freaking on the apron to the outside to the barrack on the announce table. The only time I ever saw it was against John Cena and Ric Flair at WrestleMania. I think Kurt Angle too. I think he did it against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21 too. Did he do it against Jericho? I don't remember. At WrestleMania 19? I don't remember. But can these things mean anything nowadays? It's like the stuff don't mean nothing because everybody's just doing the spectacular shit every week. It's like you're desensitizing the fans, bro. You're desensitizing the fans, bro. It's like that's when the fans start sitting on their fucking feet, bro. Sitting on their ass. Like I'm sitting in this chair right now. Like, can everything just mean something? Once again, please. Please, please, please. Oh my God.
My world and everyone else was watching at the time. What I love about this match, what everyone loves about this match, is everything matters in this match. It wasn't one of those, alright, let's just wrestle for 15 minutes and then we'll do a finisher spam and the fans can start cheering and jumping around.
I think they did like 2 false finishes.
Reversed to cross faces. Shawn's gonna try for a super kick. Undertaker was out here doing, when have you ever seen the Undertaker doing roll-ups? Taker can't hit a chokeslam still. Shawn can barely hit a sweet chin music. Everything was so deserved and earned in this match. So when they do start doing the finishers, Taker doesn't just hit a last ride. No, we get like the deadliest last ride ever. It was just so unexpected at the time, especially for a young fan like me. It was unlike any match I'd ever seen in WrestleMania or the WWE, other than maybe Shawn versus Angle, but I never thought Taker would be in something like this. And because Taker was in it, it just made it more magical. And people now in 2025 would tell you, oh, it's overrated, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, it's not that good. No, listen, this is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. And the reason why I love this match more than the one they had the next year at WrestleMania 26, obviously it's a surprise factor, it's the original, but I love how not clean it is. I love that there are botches, that Undertaker almost died diving in the ring. I love that the moves sometimes don't connect properly or that they had to be earned, and it's like, what was that? It felt real in a sense, not in a sense of danger or like, oh, they're shooting brother, but in a sense of this was just a competition and they were doing everything they could do to win. And in competitions, things don't go smoothly. You're perfect. It's supposed to be a fight, right? It just felt so authentic. And Jim Ross on the call, the blue lights were on bright, and listen. Sean been hit with this choke slam, okay? Sean had been hit with the last ride. So what does Taker do? Sean tries to skin the cat. Undertaker
caught him in the damn tombstone.
Yeah, like Jordan. And what happens? What happens?
Kicks out.
HBK kicks out. HBK kicks out. When HBK kicked out of the tombstone and we got that legendary call, and Undertaker...
I'm still getting goosebumps to this. I'm sorry. I'm getting goosebumps to this day. Chills in my body just knowing that this nigga kicked out of the tombstone power driver. Boy.
They're like, what? My shirt was off in 09. My shirt was off in 2025. Rewatching this, that Shawn Michaels kick, it's not hyperbole. It's not a commentary call. It was genuinely an outer body experience. What else can you ask for? It doesn't get better than this. And what does Taker do? Right? Well, let's do it again. I hate when wrestlers do a finisher and then they just react for like 20 minutes and then don't try to do it again. No,
pack him up
again. There's logic. Taker knows that. Tombstone again, but DDT out of nowhere.
That was a horrible DDT.
But that's what made it better. Taker kicks out of a sweet chin music. I'm beating my chest like Matthew McConaughey. And how does this end? The best way possible. Shawn Michaels goes for a moonsault for the industry, for the business, for his legacy, for his broken back, and Taker catches him in midair, almost drops him, not clean whatsoever, but once again made it even better. Tombstone, 1, 2, 3, 30 minutes later, it was over. This is it, man. Maybe it's a hot take. I think the match they had the next year at 26 is amazing, but I really think that this is on another level and that their 26th match, it's a notch below. I don't think they're equals. This is perfection. The things that I would do to be able to watch this for the first time again.
I love this match, but I will always say that Triple H versus Undertaker match in the Hell in a Cell, bro. I have good reverence to this match. But that WrestleMania match with him and Triple H in the Hell in a Cell, I will say is even better. I can't, bro. The story in that match was too amazing. I cannot lie to y'all. This is my opinion. But I feel like that WrestleMania 28 match was above this match. Just the story alone. Triple H telling Undertaker to give up. Give up! Undertaker was beat down. Shawn Michaels hitting Undertaker with a sweet chin music in the pedigree pin combination. And he kicked out. Oh my God. I'm still getting chills thinking about that shit to this day. I remember watching that match like, holy shit. Not like the fans in the crowd, holy shit, but bro. He kicked out of the sweet chin music and fucking pedigree combo. To this day, that is the best false finish I have ever witnessed. I thought it was over. I deadass thought it was over. I ain't think the Undertaker was going to retain that streak. I thought Triple H was going to break that streak. I didn't think it would have been good to do that, but I thought he was going to do it. And then I think 2 years later, they let Brock Lesnar break the streak.
I will never forget watching this. My jaw was on the floor. And as cheesy as it sounds, this match, this is WrestleMania. This is a quintessential WrestleMania match, the greatest Mania match of all time. It doesn't get better than this. What a time to be alive. Well, that's one way to make sure WrestleMania ends up being a classic. And after that masterpiece, as long as the main event's delivered from here on out, we were golden. And although it was going to be tough to follow that, it was then time for John Cena versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
With Big Show. It wasn't just...
I thought if I just pretended that Cena versus Edge at Mania happened this year, that maybe it actually did. We never got Edge versus Cena at Mania. Not in 09, not ever. It was right there. It was... Edge versus Cena, World
right there.
Let's go. But why would we get that? Why
would Big Show be involved in this?
Get what they want? Nah, instead, let's add a 500-pound cheeseburger fiend who, for some reason, Vicky Guerrero is cheating on Edge with. And before you knew it, WrestleMania 25 was blessed with Edge versus Cena versus the Big Show.
Why is everything back then looking now is like? Why is everything got to do with the women, bro? Why Big Show got to be involved because Vicky Guerrero's cheating on Edge? Like, that's Vince McMahon booking. Oh my God, everything was revolved about somebody cheating on somebody. Y'all remember the Bobby Lashley versus Miro Rusev with Lana? Oh my God, that's 2019. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch back then. It was atrocious. It was unwatchable. It was unwatchable. I watched The Fiend, but all that other stuff was horrible.
Alright, I've already talked about this match so many times in terms of the disappointment of Big Show being added, so, there's no point of keep going over that over and over again. But the thing is, despite this match having the Big Show added in, right, this was such a letdown regardless. This was just not a WrestleMania co-main event level match, and the sad part is, it could have been. The Big Show hate aside, this was a solid match. I'm not saying it was bad or anything, this was a solid, fine match. But it wasn't WrestleMania World Title level. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think it suffered that much.
What the hell, John?
Taker versus Shawn, because if anything, a triple threat match is the perfect match to follow up a classic like that because you have 3 different wrestlers to go in and out doing their thing and keep things fresh and exciting. You can have a lot of fun and a lot of action and keep the crowd awake, but the thing is, they only got 14 minutes, and it just never felt like they kicked into the next gear. This is the type of world title match that you would open WrestleMania with these days. It was
I was about to say, this is like an opening match to me.
They never got to tweak. It just didn't feel like a WrestleMania match, and that's what sucks because even with the Big Show, this could have been a WrestleMania banger, and it felt like a house show main event. They just played it so safe. But the only thing people remember from this match was the Cena entrance, and of course this. Was it a bad match? Of course not, but this could have been so much better. This could have been special, and on this night at WrestleMania, after Shawn versus Taker, we needed this to deliver. But hey, it was all good because it didn't suck, and as long as the main event of WrestleMania, the most anticipated main event since 05 delivered, this Mania would have still gone down as a classic. 3 solid matches at this point, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. As long as we got a banger main event, it was a wrap, and all we needed for this blood feud was an absolute war. After a wife was RKO'd, a house was broken into, a wife was kissed while she lay there unconscious, a father and brother-in-law were hospitalized, something had to give, somebody was gonna die, somebody was getting hospitalized, nah, screw somebody, Triple H was getting punted, and Randy Orton was gonna proclaim himself as the top dog of the industry, of the company, the most evil character in WWE history, was being cemented at WrestleMania, 5 years in the making. It was time. Randy comes out, main event, WrestleMania 25, looking his absolute best. Triple H gets his yearly $50,000 cosplay entrance. Everyone was watching after months of build of everything we chronicled. Main event of WrestleMania, there was going to be destruction, violence, mayhem. There's only going to be one man left standing, and best of all, the bad guy, the villain, the evil one was winning. The match starts, and what the fuck was this? Triple H and Randy Orton drop a
headlock.
These idiots, you know what? My bad, not idiots. These geniuses at the WWE, after constructing a masterpiece of a storyline,
these dudes putting headlocks in,
this a must-see, violent WrestleMania main event, decided to make the stipulation that if Triple H gets counted out, or more importantly disqualified, he loses the title. What? Why in the blue fuck was this match not a no DQ match, or a last man standing, or a street fight, or my mom on a pole match? Why? It genuinely does not make any... What was wrong with them? You spent months making this man, building him as a terrorist. You have him do this to a man's wife. Everyone just wants to...
And he can't get DQ?
Regardless of my bias and who I want to see win, people just want to see violence. No, sorry, you're getting a 23-minute Triple H WrestleMania Classic. Sorry, this is actually inexcusable. The 23-minute or 23 minutes of Triple H wrestling. What the hell? The whole point of this was to see Triple H kill him or try to kill him. Instead, we're out here doing this? I knew it was cooked when the WrestleMania main event had Randy Orton trying to win the match by count out. Why? We should have had announce tables being broken, backs being broken, legs being broken, chairs, this, that. No. Instead, Triple H is going to pick up a monitor, but then put it down because, he'll get disqualified. Oh my God. At this point, they should have done the ending where he does get disqualified and Randy wins. It would have sucked still, but at least it would have been better than this. But it's fine. At least after 21 minutes.
21 minutes.
Oh, wow. Praise the Lord. Now that must mean the referee's down. We're probably going to go crazy now, right? It's finally time for all hell to break loose. The stipulation was probably just there to build up to this and tease us. It's finally time. No, Triple H is the one punting Randy for some reason. What? Hits him with the sledgehammer once. Pedigree 1, 2, Who the hell does Triple H think this was a disgrace? I totally forgot Triple H punted him.
Fuck?
He should have just hit him with a shovel at this point, alright? Forget the hammer. So not only did we get the total opposite of what we wanted in terms of the match, Triple H won. Triple H just had to win, alright? Triple H just had to win. Let's take Randy Orton, make him the best heel of the 2000s, the biggest demon, and then he loses at WrestleMania. This guy won the Rumble, destroyed a whole family, and Triple H just walks in there and wins. Oh no, we need a happy ending for WrestleMania, pal. Oh, we need a happy ending for Mania? Oh, but what about when Triple H at WrestleMania 2001, then the heel had to win, right? It was fine then, right? This was a disgrace. 23 minutes, wrong winner, wrong match, the most hyped up, well-built WrestleMania main event in so long, and this happens. Randy dies. I hate this so much. I always have, always will, and rewatching this after watching the Rumble, No Way Out, watching the Raw.
Looking back, this is horrible.
This was generational storytelling, and then at the end, they just pulled their pants down and just took a piss all over it. Just so Triple H can end WrestleMania on top. Just so the face can win and we get a happy end. Nobody wants a happy ending. The happy ending was Randy winning. I hate how, it's fine. At Backlash, we'll just have Randy win the title. Yeah, in a 6-man tag match for it. Yeah, great. Fantastic. What a great story. This had no reason to be bad, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, this video was titled WrestleMania 25 should have been legendary. Because sadly, it wasn't. To this day, WrestleMania 25 is remembered as a disappointment, and what sucks is, this isn't a bad show, not at all. This show is way better than I remember it ever being. We talked about it, we reviewed it right now. There's only like 2 bad matches the whole show. They choked. They simply choked. The main event was that bad that for many people, it legitimately ruined the show for the vast majority, and I can't really blame them. And that's sad, because I look at this time period so fondly. It was so fun watching every Raw and every SmackDown from January to April. WrestleMania 25 should have been legendary. Instead, it's a show that most people hate. Some consider it one of the worst WrestleManias of all time, which I think is a bit much. But
no.
It just sucks, because like I said, there's only 2 bad things on this entire show. But when your main event stinks that much and disappoints every single person watching, the whole show's gonna get the stink. It doesn't matter what Shawn and Taker do, and it just leaves the whole situation as what could have been. But you know what? It's okay, WrestleMania 25. Alec.
Because the only thing people remember from that WrestleMania is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Let's keep it real. The only thing people actually remember or people actually talk about is Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. And that's bullshit. Because like they said, the show wasn't atrocious. It's just Vince McMahon did not have the pulse on the audience. That's not what we wanted to see, bro. It's not what we wanted to see. Randy Orton should have won that match. No lie. Maybe, yeah, Triple H could have won the match and have it in a no DQ match. Make it make sense, though. Make it make sense. Why is John Cena and Edge not opening the show? Nowadays, that's opening the show. That's a good match. Big Show could have did something else, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, what's going on, bro? What was going on? Looking back now, what the fuck was going on? But yeah, get down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, comments. Let me know what y'all want to react to. We got more reactions, more videos coming. This your auntie's favorite YouTuber, and we out, bro.
Shots fired from that clip.
Say they wanna kill me, you can find me in my city, yeah. Running up them Benjis until I see me a million. Now they can't just talk to me like I'm just a civilian. Running all these streets like I'm a Boston Olympian. Big bag, they mad, we can go tip for tat. Remember